It's an exciting time to be a 49ers fan, and I've got some news that only adds more fuel to the fire. Imagine waking up one morning to find out that one of the most underrated players on your team just locked in security and recognition for years to come. That's exactly what happened when the 49ers announced that Darnell D. Lenore signed a massive extension, proving that this franchise really believes in his talent and his future. You might be wondering why this matters so much. Well, think about it. In a league where recognition often goes to the flashiest pass rusher or the most talked about quarterback, having a player like D get rewarded sends a strong message. It tells every member of the roster that hard work, versatility, and impact, even when it isn't always obvious in the stat sheet, will be honored, and that those efforts will help shape the future of this team. Lenore's role as a slot defender often flies under the radar, but ask any opposing quarterback how intimidating it is to thread a pass between numbers when he's lurking in the middle of the field, and you'll get an earful. He combines explosive burst with intelligent anticipation, cutting off routes before they even develop. Last season, he racked up 5 tackles for loss against the run, tied for second among slot defenders across the league, and defended 9 passes, ranking him 5th at his position. Those numbers alone speak volumes, but they don't capture the full scope of his influence. In critical third down situations, opposing quarterbacks saw a 63.6 rating when Lenore was the closest defender, the 4th best among his peers. That consistency in high leverage moments turns the tide in games, shifting momentum and instilling confidence in everyone around him. What makes D's rise even more compelling is the context in which it happened. The 49ers invested significant draft capital this year to bolster run defense, adding players with high grades against the rush and reinforcing the defensive line's ability to hold the point of attack. When you pair that commitment to stopping the run with Nick Bosa on one edge and Bryce Huff on the other, you get a pass rush tandem that opponents simply cannot ignore. But a truly dominant defense needs balance, and that's where D shines. While the elite pass rush pressures the quarterback to make hurried throws, Lenore's presence over the middle turns potential completions into punts. And that interplay is the secret sauce of a championship caliber unit. Of course, any defensive transformation also relies on leadership and scheme clarity. And here the 49ers have been on top of their game. Bringing in Robert Saleh's authoritative voice and Fred Warner's all-pro instincts creates a framework in which players like Lenore can excel. When coaches and veterans paint clear assignments on the whiteboard and every teammate understands their responsibility and individual strengths can be magnified. That's why Lenore's off-season decision to show up early for voluntary workouts speaks volumes. He was one of the first guys on the field at Santa Clara, putting in extra work to refine his technique and build chemistry with his teammates. That dedication earns respect in the locker room and at practice. And it sets a standard for the whole defense. Let's not forget a defining moment that cemented Lenore's reputation. In a late-season showdown against the Arizona Cardinals in one of the hottest games ever recorded at Levi's Stadium, Lenore scooped up a loose ball and raced into the end zone for a scoop and score. That play felt like a microcosm of his entire career. Seizing opportunity, displaying toughness under brutal conditions, and flipping the script in a heartbeat. Plays like that don't just swing the scoreboard. They energize the entire fan base, the coaching staff, and the sideline. They are highlight reel moments that define seasons and catapult players into conversations they might never have been in before. And when you remember his dominant performance against a division rival like the Seahawks, locking down top receivers and making it look effortless, you realize that this young man thrives on the biggest stages. Although we won't have the chance to see him face DK Metcalf this year, the tape from that Week 1 meeting last season, where he essentially kept Metcalf in his back pocket, still sends shivers down the spine. That's the kind of dominance you build around when you're constructing a championship contender. It's not just about rushing the passer or breaking up a few passes. It's about establishing an identity that opponents must constantly account for. Now, with D. Lenore's new 5-year, $92 million commitment locked in as of November 12th, 2024, the 49ers have shown that they aren't content to simply reload. They're intent on building a core that can sustain excellence. That extension carries more guaranteed money than nearly any deal for a player at his position. And it comes with the implicit promise that the front office will continue to invest at key spots. When you see contracts for Fred Warner and now Lenoir secured years in advance, you understand that San Francisco is playing a long game, one that prioritizes continuity and culture over chasing short-term headlines. As mandatory minicamp looms, in just a couple of days, there's extra buzz about seeing D back in action. Will he pick up exactly where he left off? How will he mesh with the new additions along the defensive front? Can he build on a season that already saw him earn league-wide respect and a place among the low-key MVPs pundits whisper about? The answers to those questions are what make football so compelling. And for fans who crave the kind of shutdown defense that leaves opposing QBs scrambling, knowing that your underrated superstar just got the ultimate vote of confidence is the kind of great news that keeps you hitting replay on highlights all summer long. Since that extension went through, every practice rep and every walkthrough has taken on a new level of intensity for D. Lenoir. You can almost feel the energy shift when he steps onto the field. Like everyone else knows, this isn't business as usual. This is a player on a mission to justify the faith the organization just placed in him. In recent OTA sessions, he's been lining up in the slot and reading route combinations with laser focus, pointing out adjustments to teammates and even sharing quick hand-fighting drills with the rookies to shore up their technique. When a receiver tried a clever rub route, Lenoir slid through it without breaking stride and burst upfield to shadow the running back leaking into the flat, almost as if he'd already seen it 100 times on tape. That kind of play recognition is rare, and it bodes well for a defense that wants to operate in sync rather than rely on individual heroics. Meanwhile, transition periods can be tricky, but the way Lenoir's recalibrating his footwork and coverage suggests he's embracing the challenge. With Nick Martin pushing for the nickel role and perhaps even competing directly with Lenoir in practice, you've got two hungry young corners sharpening each other like a whetstone. Imagine the head coach drawing up a look that sends a safety blitz off the edge, and Lenoir drops down into the slot knowing exactly where the hot reads are, anticipating the tight end's pivot and sticking to him with sticky hips. That versatility to flip between coverage assignments and run support in a heartbeat is exactly what modern defenses covet. And Lenoir's showing no signs of being a one-trick pony. It's not just on-field reps where he's shining. In team walkthroughs, he's become a vocal presence, cueing defensive backs on shifts in the formation, reminding linebackers of their landmarks, and offering quick film references, like pointing out how a robber concept once gave him an easy interception during a joint practice last season. Pair that leadership with the returning veterans, Fred Warner barking out adjustments, Javon Kinlaw turning the line of scrimmage into a mauling for opposing backs, and suddenly you have a defense that feels more cohesive than the sum of its parts. Every time Lenoir chats with the safeties about how to bracket an H-back release or glances at the coach's chart to align correctly versus trips formations, you see why the front office rewarded him so handsomely. Now picture this, Weck. One rolls around and the lights are bright for the Seahawks rematch in the Bay. The crowd noise is deafening, their top receivers are smirking after pre-game warm-ups, and the commentators are hyping up Metcalf's size advantage. But as soon as the ball is snapped, Lenoir's shadow game begins. He's tracking the slot receiver's stem, then transitions to stack the back on the screen, shedding the block to tackle at the 2-yard line, and suddenly the Seahawks' rhythm is dead in its tracks. That's the kind of game script that makes opposing quarterbacks look over their shoulder, and that one performance can set the tone for the entire season. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button. On this video, your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. San Francisco, the NFL world has been shaken by whispers surrounding one of the league's brightest stars, Christian McCaffrey. According to unconfirmed reports surfacing this week, the San Francisco 49ers may have been forced to sideline the dynamic running back for the entire upcoming season due to an alleged doping violation. While the team has not yet released an official statement, insiders close to the organization hint at a possible suspension that could reshape the Niners' 2025 campaign. McCaffrey, widely regarded as the heartbeat of the 49ers offense, has reportedly tested positive for a banned substance, though details remain murky. The NFL has yet to comment, and no formal disciplinary action has been made public. Still, sources suggest that the league's anti-doping policy was triggered and that the player may be facing a season-long ban. Speculation is growing among fans and analysts, with some questioning whether this incident is part of a larger issue within the franchise, while others see it as a potential misunderstanding or testing anomaly. The 49ers' recent silence has only added fuel to the fire, with training camp just weeks away and no official clarification provided. Behind closed doors, team insiders allegedly fear the worst. If the rumors prove true, the loss of McCaffrey could deliver a crushing blow to San Francisco's Super Bowl hopes. After a stellar 2024 season where McCaffrey dominated on the ground and through the air, his absence would leave a massive void in Kyle Shanahan's offense. Though no one from the players' camp has commented publicly, a sense of unease has gripped the fan base. Could this be a premature leak, a misunderstanding, or the beginning of a major scandal? For now, all that remains is uncertainty and the growing buzz that something significant is unfolding behind the scenes in Santa Clara. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.